Hey all, I have gotten a lot of questions lately about the decodable text in our HMH resources. So I wanted to do a quick explanation of how the decodable text can be changed and altered in order to meet the needs of your learners. So as I'm planning to use my decodable text, the first thing I want to do is think about what's the purpose of the decodable text. So I did a quick learning intention for that. Um, I used a first grade Module 5, Week 3 passage. So the learning intention or learning target would be we are learning to decode words with a CV and CVE pattern. So everything I've done in structured literacy up to this decodable text is going to help me set the foundation for that learning target. Now that I'm in my small group, I want to target that and drill down to those kids that are either at the entering point of that, they can just kind of sort the words, whether they fit the pattern or don't fit the pattern, all the way to my students that are ready to read those words in a sentence. Okay, so my learning target, we're decoding words with the CV and CVE pattern. My entry point, my first success criteria is I want them to be able to pick out the words with the pattern. The second thing I want them to be able to do is then, once they've picked the word out, is to decode, to apply the pattern, the rules that we've learned in our structured literacy to actually decode and read that word. Now, the third thing I want them to be able to do is to read words with the pattern in sentences. That would be where my decodable passage comes in. If my learners can already pick them out quickly, can already decode them quickly, then this passage is okay for them. They're ready for that. But what if you have learners that this is overwhelming for, and it would not be a productive struggle for them to sit and look at this passage? That's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how I can take this passage and make it meaningful for all of the learners that are coming to see me in my group today. Okay, so the first thing I did, develop my intention. Sorry if the camera looks funny. Develop my intention and my success criteria. The second thing I did was to take the first sentence in this text apart. So I took it and I wrote just that sentence. I didn't have any sentence strips at home, so I just wrote it on a card, wrote just that sentence on a sentence strip. But thinking about my intention, is that where I'm going to start with the sentence? No, remember my entry point was to pick out words with the pattern. So I went from the whole passage to a sentence from the passage to words from the passage. So I picked out some words and wrote them on the sticky part of a sticky note because that's going to serve another purpose in a minute. And I'm going to first just sort them. We're not worried about decoding. That's step 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is have my students in my small group, I'm going to put these words out in front of them. And I'm going to say, boys and girls, today our learning intention is to decode words with the CVC and CVE pattern. So the first thing I want you to be able to do is just to pick out words that fit my pattern. I don't know why I keep going in and out on this video. Please forgive me. So I'm going to lay these cards out with the words written on them from that first sentence of the passage, and we're going to sort them. Yes fits the rule. No does not fit the rule. So looking at these first two, I would hope that they would pick out that this one fits the rule. We might even take a pencil and code it to show that, yes, it fits the rule. Oh, I don't see an E in this word at all, so I know it doesn't fit the rule. Can anyone tell me what this word is? And we would quickly say it's thing. This word is thing. Repeat it, thing. Put it down. All right, we put this one in the pile that we're going to learn to decode. What about this one? Oh, it's familiar. It's a heart word we had earlier in the word. I see no E in the word. It does not fit my pattern. So we know that this word isn't going to go with my pattern words today. Does anyone know this word? Wants. Good. It was one of our heart words too. Remember to put that ending on it. Wants. So it's going to go in my no pile. Ooh, what about this word? Okay, I see an E on it. Let's see if it fits my pattern. Do I have a consonant, vowel, consonant, E? Yes, I do. So it fits our pattern today. So we're going to put that in our pile. We're not going to read it yet. We're just going to put it in our pile. Then I will go to the next one. Does it fit my rule? Does it not fit my rule? What do you think? Thumbs up if it fits the rule today. Good. Why does it fit the rule today? Can you tell me what you see in this word? Hoping that they're going to give me, I see a consonant, vowel, consonant, E in this word. It fits my pattern. I'm not reading it yet. I'm putting it in my pile. All right, I have one more for you. Let's look at this one closely. Good job. It doesn't have an E in it, so we know this can't fit our pattern. Does anyone know this word? That. Very good. At. And if the kids don't give me that word, I'm going to give it to them because remember, our focus today is to read those CV and CVE words. So this doesn't fit my pattern. I'm not going to spend time teaching that right now. I'm going to just quickly graze over it and come back to it later. So this one didn't fit the rule. We set it. We put it in our other pile. Now, boys and girls, you already picked out words that fit our pattern. How do you feel about that? Can you do that? Can you find words that have that pattern in them? Good. All right, let's move to step 2. Now we're going to work on decoding those words that have that pattern. Here's the first one we had. Can someone help me decode this word? I want to look at the sound, the letters, make the sounds, and see if I can put it together. What does the rule tell me about words that have this E on the end? I have a consonant, vowel, consonant, E. Remember, these are working together. ST, st. This is going to be long. Good. What does the long E say? E, st, eve. Am I going to make a sound for this final E in the word? No, because we learned in our lesson today that that E is silent. It doesn't make any noise on this word. So our word is Steve. Very good. What is this word? Steve. Very good. Turn and tell your partner what that word was. Steve. Good job. All right, let's move on to the next one. We said it fit the rule. We remember that our rule made our vowels long. Here's my vowel I'm looking at. N, A, M. Not going to say anything here. N, A, M. What's that word? Name. That's right. This word is name. Say it again. Name. Good job. All right, we have one more for our rule. You told me this one fit the rule. We picked it out. Now, what is the word? G, A, M. What's the word? Game. Good. Have you ever played a game? Yeah. All right. I'm going to cover up that E to remind myself it doesn't make any noise. And the word is game. One more time. Game. Very good, boys and girls. So what have we done so far? We picked the words out. We decoded them. Now what do we need to be able to do? Read them in a sentence. All right. I have your sentence ready. But I want us to make sure that we remembered the words we already practiced. So here is a word. I'm going to give this word to one of my group members. I'm going to give this word to one of my group members. And I'm going to give this word to one of my group members. Now, they're going to decode it back to me. One word. And the rest of the group is going to tell us whether or not they decoded it correctly. So my first student does this with no problem. He says game. We all give him one clap. Good. Now, find the word game in my sentence. Remember I said I wrote the word on the sticky part of a sticky note? They're going to take that word and stick it right there to help us see that we've already decoded that part of the sentence. I'm going to go through the same thing with the other 3 pattern words. Steve, good job. All right, let's cover up Steve in our sentence. All right, one more. Good job. He said this word was name. Do we all agree? Yes. All right. What if the student didn't decode it correctly? What if they said nom? Would we all say, oh, no? We would say, oh, think again. The rule today was that when we have a consonant vowel, consonant E, the first vowel is long. Let's try it with a long vowel. Aim. Very good. That word is name. Everyone say it. Name. Now I'm going to take that word and I'm going to cover it up on my sentence. Now look what we've done. We have reinforced the skill that I wanted them to get out of that decodable passage 3 times already. They can see that they have already decoded some of those words. We actually decoded more than those because we looked at some of the words that didn't fit the pattern that also came out of the sentence. I could quickly remind them what these words were and put them in the sentence. Remember, this was wants. It's one of our heart words. I'm going to cover it up. Remember, this one was thing. Everybody say it. Thing. It's one of our words we already know. And then this word was that. That. I'm going to cover it up in my sentence. Now, look. Out of this long sentence, we only have 3 words that we haven't decoded already. I bet we can read this word. 2. Very good. Does anybody remember this one? Do. Excellent. And one more we haven't covered up. The. Boys and girls, you know all the words in this sentence. Remember, our intention is to be able to read these words together. So let's do it. You know the words now. Steve wants to do the game. Name that thing. He wants to do what? A game. What's the name of the game? Name that thing. Very good, boys and girls. You have accomplished what we needed to accomplish in our group today. So I hope that kind of helps you think through how I can take that decodable text and make it applicable to my learners who this is overwhelming for. Now, if we did that quickly and did it really well, I'm going to have sentence 2 ready to go. Because if we did that sentence 1 and we feel really good about it, and I still have time with that group, I'm going to have sentence 2 ready to go. Now, your learners that are ready to read this whole passage, do it. Go for it. Do it exactly how the procedure is described in the text, and they're ready. They can do that. I've also talked to a teacher recently about how just because this box is down here at the end of the passage doesn't mean that you have to wait until they can decode the whole passage to do that. If they worked really hard, they met their learning intention, they decoded the words in this passage, give them 2 minutes. Two quick minutes. Draw Steve playing his game. So you can still do the little bit of comprehension activity at the end, but we want our focus to remain on what they're there in my group for. They're here to see me today because they need to learn to decode words with CV and CVE patterns. So that's what I'm going to focus on in that group. If you have any questions, any ideas about how you do that in your classroom that you'd love to share, please let us know. Thanks.